Hey guys, it's Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. Today I've got a cute sneak peek card for you here. It's a sneak peek of a ton of new catalog products. It's also the card that I send my customers with their catalog. Sorry, spoiler alert. I'm doing this one today because I thought it would be a great opportunity to talk to you about how we at Kitchen Table Stamper handle new catalogs. So the new annual catalog is here and we are mailing them tomorrow. If you're a Kitchen Table Stamper customer, your catalog is absolutely free and hopefully you've requested it. There's a link below to request the catalog. I do ask that my customers request catalogs. There's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, because I handle the mailing myself, I don't go through Stampin' Up's mailing selector. I do take just a little bit longer, but I like to put my wish list and my in color bookmark. I like to make you a card and send it out. And I only want to send you a catalog if you really want one. I know that some of you have other demonstrators. I know that some of you who buy classes are demonstrators yourself. And some of you prefer to look at the catalog on your tablet. So I do ask that you request a catalog if you're a customer. If you are a first-time customer, you've never ordered from me before, but you'd like me to be your demonstrator, you can still request a catalog. I'll send you one for free. Just go ahead and use the link below and do that. And what you do is you add the product into your cart. It's $0. And then at checkout, you can make sure that I have the very best mailing address for you for that catalog. I like to use my own system and verify your address through the request, because this is what happens when I use Stampin' Up's system for your addresses. The customer manager doesn't always talk to, or the ordering system doesn't always talk to the customer manager. Things don't get updated. Online accounts can only be updated by you, and I can't help you with the address update. And sometimes when you're in the customer side of the website, you're placing an order and you update your order or your address on that order, it only updates for that order and there's an old address left in the system. So this happens, and I don't want this to happen with my catalog. So that's why I ask you to request one. So if you haven't done that yet, request one. If you have done that, Saturday we're sending these out. And the other good part of the way that I do this is that when you request a catalog through me, using the system, when I mail out your catalog, you get notification that it's coming. So there's a couple of benefits to this, and that's why I do it. I thought, well, if I shared the card that I was making for you, I could also share with you a little bit about how you request a catalog as a Kitchen Table Stamper customer, why I do it that way. So we're using the new in colors in this card. I love to give you a sample in your hands as much as I can of all the gorgeous colors, the new ink, the designer series paper, the twine, so you can really see the colors. And then I also do the bookmark. The bookmark will have a sample of the new in color metallic ribbon, where the card will have a sample of the new in color twine. So this is a good way for me to help you get comfortable with those in colors. And then I'm going to show you a new stamp set and how to pair it up with some of our old favorites. So I've got my brass butterflies and my brick and mortar folder. Old favorites meeting the new bottled happiness stamp set, the new in colors, and the new in color twine. All right, so let's get started with our embossing. I've got a crumb cake card base. You saw me just work the score line. It's 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4, so a standard size card base. We're gonna bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and add that brick and mortar texture to the front. And when I'm doing the 3D folder, we're gonna use 1 and 4. So we've got 1, we're gonna pop our card into the folder. Now when you do this with the Stampin' Up embossing folder and you're using the full card front, you want to put the card through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and then make sure everything's nice and square, that the folder does not extend past the platform. Then you're going to add number 4 on top of that for a 3D folder and give it a crank. And do this carefully. You don't want to grate the side of your folder or the hinge of your folder if you're going the other direction. I love brick and mortar because it runs, when it runs horizontal across the card, the hinge is protected. All right, so we've got our gorgeous 3D texture there. Let's adhere our designer series paper. I've got 1 inch of each color, 1 by 1, of the new designer series paper. These are 6 by 6. You get 4 patterns. I'll show you 2 here. It's got a little tiny floral, almost like a calico. That's the one we're using. The back side of that has got a really cool hash stripe. Now, I loved this little calico because if you look at the tiny little flowers and the leaves and the sprigs, it looks a lot like what's in our bottle. So it's a cool coordination thing. Knowing Stampin' Up, they did it on purpose. I'm gonna just glue these guys down along the left-hand side using liquid glue in kind of a helter-skelter little tipsy pattern. I'm using liquid glue for this, and quite a bit of it actually, because we have a 3D texture. It's a really deep impression, so I'm going with a liquid glue. You could go with a strong dry adhesive also, like your Seal Plus, or if you're still using Fast Fuse, tear and tape, something to get a good grip on that bumpy background. And we're just going to space them out, kind of toggling the direction as we go. And then our parakeet party is going to bring the line together. Isn't that cute? I love all the colors, and on the neutral background, they really pop. Let's do some stamping. I've got a scalloped pierced rectangle. This is cut using the Scalloped Contours dies, and it's that second largest one, the one with the piercing, not the third largest one with the stitches. A little bit bigger than that. Fits perfectly with the short bottle from Bottle Happiness. You can get the bouquet and the bottle on that size. Bottled Happiness is a photopolymer stamp set, so we're going to grab our Stampin' Pierce mat and in color ink pads. I've got Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, Starry Sky, and Tahitian Tide. And I'm going to start with my Sweet Sorbet flowers. I find that this is the easiest way for me to line up this 2-step stamp. I'm going to ink the flowers and stamp it just below the pierced line and then centered between the right to left pierced line. And just give my ink a second to transfer. I want a good, strong, solid image. So pretty. And then we'll take the leaf and flower centered detail, ink that up in Parakeet Party. Then we're going to line up 3 landmarks. We're going to choose one on the left low, one on center high, and one on the right low. These 3 flower centers. That's all we care about when we're lining this up. If you can cut the clutter and the distraction and just line up those 3 points, everything else is going to fall into place just perfectly. So take your time and check each of those landmarks before you stamp. When those line up perfectly, everything else does too. So it's really simple. All the other leaves and stems are perfectly positioned because those 3 areas were right on. And we're going to use Starry Sky for our bottle. I love how it looks kind of like cobalt glass. And we're going to stamp that dude. Then a sentiment underneath. Now the sentiment says, "Thank you for your friendship." And that is from another new stamp set. That is from the Cup of Tea stamp set. I'm going to stamp that in Tahitian Tide to kind of ground our bottle of flowers. Love it. All the colors, they play so nicely together. Let's clear away the ink pads. And we can bring our card back in and our sample. And let's adhere our scallop layer to the background. It's a super fast card, but I don't think it lacks anything in beauty or detail. It is easy to make a very big bunch of them for my customers to get with their catalog. Sorry for the spoiler again, but thank you for the opportunity to explain what I do for catalog time and why I do it. And I do that at every catalog release. So when the holiday catalog comes out, we'll do the same thing. I'll put a product in the store. It's a free product. You'll do the free product, and then you'll get your catalog delivered to the right address with some fun little surprises like handmade card. All right, so there is our little brushed brass butterflies, a favorite. And I've been alternating between the Tahitian Tide twine and the Orchid Oasis twine because we didn't stamp anything in Orchid Oasis. So let's go ahead and make a little bow from one of the twines. You get all 5 colors in the 2022-2024 in color pack, and you get 10 yards of each, so it's really a nice embellishment. I've got Tahitian Tide. Let's tie a quick little bow. You can adhere this bow with a mini glue dot rolled up behind the knot or cut in half and put behind the knot, or you can just take a dot, just a little dab of multi-purpose liquid glue. That's how I'm going to roll a little bit behind the knot. Less is really more. And we'll just put that on the neck of the bottle. And it's going to take a second to grab. Just leave it be for a bit and it'll be just fine. Uh-oh, my scissors were sticky and pulled it off the glue. Put that back in place. There. I'm going to trim this tail too. That's sweet. Thank you for your friendship. If you've got any questions about getting a catalog, about the new annual catalog, if there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, email marissa@kitchentablestamper.com. And you can shop Stampin' Up 24/7 at marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.